Happy St. Patrick's Day. What y'all doing to celebrate it? What are y'all wearing like what? Green hats and green beer. And this is here in the States. I don't know about anyone else. I know the States do it in like on a poor tradition or something. We always drink green beer. Everybody wears green. Everybody want to be pinched or don't want to be pinched. Don't pinch me. Don't pinch me. I didn't really know much about St. Patrick's Day growing up. I had no idea what it was. I just knew what people had been telling us. Now that we're such a woke culture, it just seems like a what the fuck, United States? Like, we thought that was okay. Yesterday we started our conversation on whiskey, Irish whiskey per se, because we do have different types of whiskeys. It's very important that we note that not all whiskeys are created equal. And when we were talking about Irish whiskey was like on the upscale, right? They're on an up and up. Life is going great for Ireland. But we know that there's some fuck shit on the horizon. Kicked off the conversation is Jameson. Yeah. History of what is St. Patrick's Day? What does it do? Should we be wearing all green? Should we be drinking green beers? Are there leprechauns waiting at the end of the rainbow with a pot of gold? Patrick's Day was made an official Christian feast day in early 17th century and observed by the Catholic Church, the Anglican Communion, the Eastern Orthodox Church, and the Lutheran Church. So if you're a part of any of those, if those are your people, this holiday is for you. Okay, Bedside Baptist, this is not for you. They commemorate St. Patrick and the arrival of Christianity in Ireland. What? And by extension, celebrates the heritage and culture of the Irish in general. Celebrations generally involve public parades, festivals, Celtic. I am not good at speaking Gaelic. Please do not judge me because I'm going to fuck a lot of shit up. And the wearing of green attire or shamrocks. Christians who belong to liturgical denominations also attend church services. And historically, the Lenten restrictions on eating and drinking alcohol were lifted for the day, which has encouraged and propagated the holiday's tradition of alcohol consumption. So what I'm hearing is you couldn't drink in Ireland, but on the day of St. Patrick's Day, that's when they lifted all the restrictions and they said, keep the party going, Jesus. And that's what happened. St. Patrick's Day is a public holiday in the Republic of Ireland, Northern Ireland, the Canadian province of Newfoundland. I think that's how you pronounce it. Newfoundland. You don't pronounce it Newfoundland. I know that. And Labrador, which I don't know, that's how you pronounce it. It is also widely celebrated in the United Kingdom, Canada, United States, whoop whoop, Argentina, Australia, South Africa, and New Zealand, especially amongst Irish diaspora. St. Patrick's Day is celebrated in more countries than any other national festival. What? Modern celebrations have been greatly influenced by those of Irish diaspora, particularly those that developed in North America. However, there has been criticism of St. Patrick's Day. Celebrations for having become too commercialized and for fostering negative stereotypes of the Irish people. There it is, folks. There it is. We're doing some fuck shit on St. Patrick's Day, and we've got to stop. We've got to stop. We've got to do better. Let's talk about this St. Patrick guy. Who was he? St. Patrick was a 5th century Romano-British Christian missionary and bishop in Ireland. Oh, that's so nice. Much of what is known about St. Patrick comes from the Declaration, which is allegedly written by Patrick himself. What better way to share a truthful depiction about one's life than allowing one to write it on themselves? His father was a deacon, and his grandfather was a priest in a Christian church. It was believed that he was born in Britain in the 4th century into a wealthy Romano-British family. I've never seen those words together. This is why you read, people. We learn new stuff. Into the Declaration. At the age of 16, he was kidnapped by Irish raiders and taken as a slave to Gaelic Ireland. Fuck. That's wild, yo. You live your life free and wealthy, and all of a sudden you have to be a slave. That would just really ruin my day. It says that he spent 6 years there working as a shepherd, and that during this time he found God. I wonder if his family was wealthy though. They ain't have the money to really send anyone to go search for this, but I guess it's okay. According to tradition, Patrick returned to Ireland to convert the pagan Irish to Christianity. The declaration says that he spent many years evangelizing in the north half of Ireland and converted thousands. The declaration says that God told Patrick to flee to the coast where a ship would be waiting to take him home. After making his way home, Patrick went on to become a priest. He tried to turn the pagan Irish into Christians. The declaration says he spent many years evangelizing in the northern half of Ireland and converted thousands. Wow! Say what you will, my guy is on point. Patrick's efforts were eventually turned into an allegory in which he drove snakes out of Ireland, despite the fact that snakes were not known to inhabit the region. Oh! So that's what that was. So you guys ever remember the shirt, and there's a guy and he has like something in his hand and there's snakes coming out and he's like going to hit the snakes and the snakes are running away from him? That's what that meant. And the snakes are the bad people. Probably like the devils, just like, the snakes that were in the Garden of Eden. The snakes all migrated to the USA, Australia, and Canada, where they are found today. So maybe, I don't know. Tradition holds that he died on March 17th and was buried at Downpatrick. Over the following centuries, many legends grew up around Patrick, and he became Ireland's foremost saint. Today, St. Patrick's Day celebrations have greatly influenced by those developed among the Irish diaspora, especially in North America. Until the late 20th century, St. Patrick's Day was often a bigger celebration among the diaspora than it was in Ireland. And that I've heard. I've heard a lot of people say that they make much more of a deal of it out here in the world away from Ireland. And that makes sense. Okay. Celebrations generally involve parades, festivals, music sessions, and that was the word I told you guys I couldn't pronounce. Sekelite. I know, however I said it is nowhere near it because it's in Gaelic or Irish. When I went to Ireland last year, the video is on my YouTube channel, Get Rich or Die Crying, if you want to see my Ireland trip. But when I went to Ireland last year, they told us that not everyone refers to what Irish speak as Gaelic because there are different cultures out there in that area, I think including Scotland, that also uses the term Gaelic. So some people will speak Irish, which I was like, oh, okay. Hi, Smile by Tracy. What's going on, Miss Trees? Welcome, welcome. There are formal gatherings, banquets, dancing that were pretty common in the past. The participants generally include in their marching bands the military, fire brigades, cultural organizations, fraternities, so on, so on, and so on. All right. And since 2010, famous landmarks have been lit up in green on St. Patrick's Day as part of Tourism Ireland's Global Greening Initiative, or Going Green for St. Patrick's Day. The Sydney Opera House and the Sky Tower in Auckland were the first landmarks to participate, and since then, over 300 landmarks in 50 countries across the globe has gone green for St. Patrick's Day. So today, St. Patrick's Day, you're going to see a lot of businesses all over the world turning on their green lights in honor of St. Patrick's Day, which is pretty awesome. St. Patrick's Day, it is customary to wear shamrocks, green clothing, or green accessories. St. Patrick is said to have used the shamrock, a 3-leaf plant, to explain the Holy Trinity to the pagan Irish. What? So he was trying to share with the Irish people, like, hey, those shamrocks you like? What they do, they got 3 parts of them, but you know who else got 3 parts? God. Pagan Ireland, 3 was a significant number, and the Irish had many triple deities, which may have aided St. Patrick in his evangelization efforts. Roger Holman writes, we can see St. Patrick drawing upon the visual concept of the Tríscil, which I am not pronouncing it. I know, me neither, right? when he uses the shamrock to explain the Trinity. Patrick Monacan says there's no evidence the shamrock was sacred to the pagan idol. Well, Jack Santino speculates that it may have represented the powers of nature and was recast in a Christian context. So, what they did was St. Patrick's Day, St. Patrick, the saint, took natural ideas of the natural culture in their world, like a lot of people have done. And the Greeks have done this as well. Now I'll explain to you about the Greeks. But St. Patrick took the natural cultures and tradition of that area, and he created it with a Christian swing to it, just like what Christians did in Greece. The color green was further associated with Ireland from the 1640s when the green harp flag was used by the Irish Catholic Confederation, which is badass. You gotta read that later. Later, Connolly described this flag as representing the sacred emblem of Ireland's unconquered soul. Oh. Green ribbons and shamrocks have been worn on St. Patrick's Day since at least the 1680s. St. Patrick's Feast Day, kind of a national day, was already being celebrated by the Irish in Europe in the 9th and 10th centuries. St. Patrick's Feast Day was finally placed on the liturgical calendar of the Catholic Church in the early 1600s due to the influence of Waterford-born Franciscan scholar Luke Wadding. St. Patrick's Day thus became a holiday of obligation for Catholics in Ireland, because Catholics are in Ireland. It is also a feast day in the Church of Ireland, part of the Anglican Communion. The church calendar avoids the observance of saints' feasts during certain solemnities during the saint's day to a time outside those periods. St. Patrick's Day is occasionally affected by this requirement when March 17th falls during this Holy Week. So, the Holy Week is more important than St. Patrick's Day. Heard. However, the popular festivals may still be held on 17th of March or on a weekend near to the feast day. And it just seems like they're just cool. They just have like a cool little, kind of like how we do Passover, you know? Maybe you go to church and you have, that's what it really sounds like. It really sounds like St. Patrick's Day in Ireland is celebrated how we would do Passover. They'll take a little, a sip of whiskey or a little sip of wine or a little sip of another alcohol on the day of St. Patrick's Day, and they cheers, they celebrate, and they take a little sip of it, and they're like, yay, happy St. Patrick's Day. Okay, I don't know if they say happy St. Patrick's Day, but that's basically what they do. So St. Patty's Day is not a huge celebration in Ireland. Well, and not the way that we celebrate it here in the States. We also learned that the reason why they celebrate it the way that they do here in the state is because those who are from Ireland, who have ancestors that were originally from Ireland, they do it as a way to keep them connected to their motherland. Oh. And we also learned that St. Patty's Day is a Christian holiday. Like, who would have thought about that? Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a great day. Be safe, be sound, be loved. Bye.